and sober when he left. Is it inevitable?
There's not a predetermined answer on this at all, but what I would say is the review process needs to get going, and the situation is fairly dire if you look at it. We go back to when we did the consent agreement. That was a crisis then, and we had a lot of things that we asked to get done. We said we would partner on. I believe we've been a good faith partner in working on those pieces, but the mayor and the city council collectively haven't gotten enough done. We got to get this stuff done. And the circumstance we're in, it may be very late in that process to say that's enough to keep even more negative consequences from coming in terms of the city's financial situation.
I read Public Act 72, and there's a clause in there that if the local unit of government violates the consent agreement, it's automatic. An emergency is declared, an EFM is sent in. Is that your trump card? Can you invoke that at the stroke of a pen?
Well, there is what the Public Act says is we're going to respect the law and move through that process. So I think your representation is fairly accurate. But again, my goal is never to take over a city or run a city. It's to be successful by partnering with them. But again, we need to take care of the citizens of Detroit. Ultimately, that's what should be the topic here. How do we get more and better services to the citizens of Detroit and get a financially stable city and then grow the city? We're not seeing that happen today. It's got to happen.
But my question is, you don't have to start this Public Act 71 process from the beginning. You're already through it.
No, we actually have to do. We actually have to do the 30-day review.
Okay.
That is
required.
That is required. They had to start again, given all the other acts in the past we've had. So we need to do a review under Public Act 72. That's a 30-day review.
Okay. And on a related note, you have Senate Bill 865 that revises the emergency financial manager. My reading of the summary of that says you want to make it more user-friendly, but my question is, and I'm not trying to put you in the corner, you're trying to make it more user-friendly for the local units of government, giving them more choices along the way, but it's still, when you talk takeover, that does get combative. Nobody wants to be taken over.
Well, it doesn't do that in many respects. What it does is say, here are choices, because again, I listened to the people from the November election. So what we did in terms of this new proposal is it's leaving it up to the city, any city or school district using this law, that there are 4 choices. They can work towards a consent agreement. They can ask for an emergency manager. There's a mediated settlement course and a bankruptcy course. And to basically say if they don't choose, it's a mediated settlement course. So there are options and choices that they need to make a decision on. If they happen to choose the emergency manager course, there's actually language in there to say if at some point they don't like what the emergency manager is proposing, they can propose an alternative that would achieve the same results, and then go through a process to make a decision then. So it's very much involving the local government, because that's the message I got out of November, and I respect that.
Fast-tracked, be finalized in law by the end of the year?
That's a law we're actually not asking for immediate effect on. So it really wouldn't be effective until 90 days after the end of the session.
But you want to get it passed by the legislature and signed by you by the end of the year?
It would be good to get it passed.
Okay. And the last question I have is, I have 5 minutes, right? How am I doing on time?
You've got about 2 minutes.
Okay. The Illich development plan, what are your thoughts on that? The devil's in the details. We haven't seen the details, have we?
No, it is working through the details of something like that. But the exciting part is this is what we were talking about earlier. We need to grow the city of Detroit. And this is a great opportunity. If you look at it, we always, too often people talk about the negative things in Detroit. Midtown's doing well, downtown's doing well, and where this development could go could be a great connector to say, let's link those areas. Let's talk about more business, more young people living in Detroit, more job opportunities for Detroiters.
Is there any public financing component?
Well, again, there are some bills out there the legislature is considering to look at tax increment financing.
And you would support that?
Well, again, I haven't seen the bill yet, as you said, the details, so I'm happy to look at it when it comes. But again, this is a case about working together in a public-private partnership to bring back the city of Detroit.
Okay, and let me get one more in. Rapid transit, is that rapidly moving through the legislature?
Well, it's through the Senate. It's on the House floor. And I hope we might see some votes in that in either today or early next week on that, because I'd love to see that get done, because that's setting a framework of something that's needed to get done probably 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So I encourage the legislators to move forward and the House members in passing the RTA legislation.
You're getting a lot done in this month, almost like December, the cleanup month. You're cleaning up a lot of issues that have been lingering around up here for months.
Well, I like to get a lot done all the time, and I believe we do, because the citizens of Michigan deserve it. They're my customer. And we're the comeback state right now. We were broken. We're making a strong comeback, but it's not time to be content nor complacent. Let's keep going. Let's keep reinventing Michigan so you're going to see that same attitude as long as I'm in office.